here after game one of the NCAA Division III women's basketball tournament with Mitchell College, head coach Courtney Burns and student athletes Lysandra Turner and Amina Wiley. Coach, if you can just start with an opening statement about the game and give you a few questions.
Sure. We knew we were playing a tough competition with Christopher Newport being the #1 team in the country. And, with us being our first time here, I thought our kids really committed to the process in terms of preparing, getting ready in practice. And, I thought we came out hot and, we competed. And that's what we talked about, competing regardless of the score. Obviously ended up being a pretty wide gap towards the end. And, I think we saw hustle all the way throughout, which, to us, we take that to heart and bring it home.
Can you talk about just, this game being here? You mentioned the first time, midway through the season, a lot of people probably didn't have you penciled in, and yet you got hot when it mattered, and you were able to bring your team somewhere that they've never been. Kind of what it means for the program now, but also moving forward.
Absolutely. It means everything, especially to these two, is something we talked about in the recruiting process when I took over. These two were my first recruiting class, and Mitchell had never won a championship before, and a lot of people doubted that we could win a championship. And, the two of these guys came in their recruiting trip, and that's what we talked about, putting this program on the map and making Mitchell basketball what it is today. And the two of them have done that over the course of 4 years. There's been ups and downs. They've had teammates that have come, that have gone, and these two have stuck through the process the entire 4 years. And, I think losing COVID last year was tough. I think coming into this year, I always say, our record is not a good indicator of who we are as a program, as a team. And, anything that could have gone wrong this year went wrong at the right time between, losing our starting point guard for the last 4 years, to injuries, to COVID. And, these guys kept everybody together. And we talked about peaking at the right time. And we've worked and we've competed. And we went into the playoffs with a mentality of everybody 0-0. And it was a business trip. And I think it's evident that these two put the program on their back and showed people what Mitchell was. And, we won the conference, which I think to some people was a shock. To us, it wasn't. We knew what we were capable of, and we were able to peak at the right time, having everybody finally back together as we went into the playoff time.
Ladies, for each of you, and you can both comment on that. She talked about the process over the last 4 years. I always think about, do you leave something better than you found it? And clearly the two of you are leaving this program in a better place than you found it. Just talk about the experience over the last 4 years and bringing this program to where it is now. You should feel good. Don't forget today's score. You should feel good about where you're leaving this program. And both of you can comment on that.
Well, I would say throughout, since the beginning, we had ups and downs, like Coach said, but we still managed to work through, fight through, no matter what. We never gave up. There was always faith, and we always believed in each other, and we just kept going. And I feel like this experience was amazing for us. This is the first time we here. We put everything out on that table. We knew what we was coming in here for, but we just never gave up. We always have to keep pushing no matter what, and that's what Coach always tells us, and that's what we did.
I say our 4 years being here, we went through a lot of ups and downs, but I say this 4th year really pushed it through without with the ups and downs, through COVID and everything, teammates leaving, me and Tookie, we just stuck by each other and brought all we got.
You just talk about that energy, it's 23-23, and March Madness is pretty unique. There's something about it that everybody just jumps on it. Here you are with the #1 team in the country. What was the feeling, on the sideline, on the court? We're in this game, and it was only a late spurt in that second quarter that really kind of created a little separation finally. Either of the players as well.
Well, I was just so happy and excited. That's always me. That's someone who I am. And I feel like with me having the energy, everybody else is going to have that energy as well. But overall, I feel like everyone was ready to go. There was energy and intensity. Everybody was talking, communicating, and we just played our hearts out. It was just a lot of heart today.
I feel like we brought the same energy from the last 2 games we played. We definitely brought it in today. We just had a little down. It really took us down a little bit, but it's okay. We all played with our hearts.
Coach, last question. Just talk about Christopher Newport and kind of what they do. They really speed you up and make you do what they want to do, and it's hard to do that for 40 minutes. For 17, it worked, and then they just kind of started to pull away in that depth and experience as well on this stage.
Yeah, obviously Chris Newport, very talented team. They're #1 in the country for a reason, and we scouted them, and we knew that it was going to come, and it was going to be chaos for 40 minutes. They're trying to create turnovers, and they're trying to speed the game up and, force us out of what we do. And, I thought we really did put our hearts out there and we competed hard for 20 minutes in that first half. And, I think we had a little spur. We talked at halftime about a minute and 20 seconds where we just got a little tired. And, I think their depth is really what got to us. I think our, first 5, 6, 7, we compete hard and we compete with anybody in the country. And I think it was their depth that got us a little bit as we started getting into that third quarter. Obviously, Deja Steven getting in foul trouble in the first half doesn't help. Now we're down one of our starters and one of our primary ball handlers. And, I think it ended up getting down to they wore us down a little bit. And, them throwing 5 players in, 5 players out, it gets to you after a while. And I think that kind of got us in the end. And I think being tired, we still tried to compete the best we could. And, I think we did leave it all out there. And, there's always tears at the end of a loss and end of the season. And